I'll call the June 16th meeting of the West Des Moines City Council to order and invite you all to stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, please sign in. Thought I'd just take everybody by surprise, gaveling in like that.
You got my attention. Let's see a sign-in option.
It's ready for sign-in.
Oh, it's ready now?
Yeah.
There we go. We're here.
4 members present.
Okay, Ryan, do we have any changes to the agenda?
No changes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'd take a motion to approve the agenda as distributed.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. Please vote.
4 yes.
Okay, moving on to item 2, Citizens Forum. This is a time for anybody that would like to address the council on any item that is not either part of public hearings or new business. Please come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. We ask that you keep it civil and respectful, and 5 minutes or under.
All right, Tiffany Berkenes, Berkenes, 6500 EP True Parkway, apartment 6302. All right, first of all, good evening, council members.
Good evening.
And Mayor Trimble. We thank you for your commitment and service to the city of West Des Moines. I'm happy to be here not only on behalf of the West Des Moines Human Rights Commission, but also because of my own personal allyship, passion, and values. As appointed commissioners, it is our pleasure and responsibility to educate, engage, and connect with those who live, work, and play in our city to foster a more inclusive and equitable community so that humans of all backgrounds, identities, and abilities can thrive in this beautifully diverse city. In previous years, proclamations have been read by the mayor and council to honor the important significance of Juneteenth and Pride Month. However, recent state and federal legislation has posed challenges for cities and organizations to engage in certain activities. So I wanted to come and still recognize both before you tonight, letting our voices still be heard and our presence be known, especially during this historical year, the 60th anniversary of the Iowa Civil Rights Act. First, we celebrate the history of Juneteenth. On Freedom's Eve, January 1st, 1863, the first watch night services took place. On that night, enslaved and free African Americans gathered in churches and private homes all across the country, awaiting news that the Emancipation Proclamation had taken effect. At the stroke of midnight, prayers were answered, as many enslaved people in Confederate states were declared legally free. Union soldiers, many of those whom were Black, marched onto plantations and across cities in the South, reading small copies of the Emancipation Proclamation, spreading the news of freedom in Confederate states. But not everyone in Confederate territory would immediately be free. Even though the Emancipation Proclamation was made effective in 1863, it could not be implemented in places still under Confederate control. As a result, in the westernmost Confederate state of Texas, enslaved people would not be free until much later. Freedom finally came on June 19, 1865, when some 2,000 Union troops arrived in Galveston Bay, Texas. The Army announced that the more than 250,000 enslaved Black people in the state were free by executive decree. The day came to be known as Juneteenth by the newly freed people in Texas. Additionally, we celebrate the 35th anniversary of Iowa Juneteenth. Thanks to their staff and countless volunteers who helped create intentional space to celebrate the rich history of African American culture, share powerful stories of resilience, and amplify Black voices. We encourage you all and others in this room to check out events happening throughout the metro and to lift up, listen to, and advocate for Black lives, history, and culture, not just this month, but every month. Event information can be found at iowajuneteenth.org. As their website states, together we'll reflect on our collective journey, release the weight of past challenges, and unite to envision a brighter future. Next, we proudly express our support for Pride Month and our LGBTQ+ friends, neighbors, and colleagues. Pride Month is not only a celebration of love, identity, and empowerment with festivities that provide affirming spaces for the LGBTQ community and allies to be seen and supported as their authentic selves, but also honors the strength and courage following the Stonewall uprising in New York City's Greenwich Village. On June 28, 1969, police raided Stonewall Inn, a popular gathering place for young members of the LGBTQ community, harassing patrons, which ultimately ignited a more visible and active LGBTQ rights movement across the country. Some members of our Human Rights Commission enjoyed attending the Capital City Pride Festival last weekend, including hosting a booth. This was a great opportunity to speak with residents of West Des Moines, educating them about their rights and raising awareness of the work we do for the community. We're also looking forward to being present at the Valley Junction Pride Festival in our very own city on Sunday, June 29th. We'd love to see you come out. Information about this celebration can be found at valleyjunction.com. A couple quotes to close. The way to right wrongs is to turn the light of truth upon them. Ida B. Wells. And I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept. Dr. Angela Davis. Last but not least, we want to publicly express our gratitude to our council liaison, Councilwoman Renee Hardman, and our leader, Audrey Kennis, for their tireless efforts and empowering us to do good and fiercely advocate for all in our community. Thank you for your time and your attention.
Thank you, Tiffany. Really appreciate it. Okay, anybody else for Citizens Forum? All right, come on up, Fred.
My name's Fred Bell, 3725 Green Branch Drive, West Des Moines. And I just wanted to bring up an issue that has been really going on for several years in our neighborhood with the city not keeping up with roadside maintenance. I've got several pictures here that I'll show. In each case, the orange cone that you see in there is 18 inches high, so it is nearly double the allowed height of shrubbery along the roadside edge. Well, like I said, this has been going on since the beginning of the 2022 growing season. 2021 was the last time we saw any regular mowing in this area by the city. So this particular one, Green Branch Drive, just beyond that cone, there is a driveway which is hidden from both directions. You have to be within about 10 feet of it to be able to see it. So I'm going to go through these quickly to the economic of your time. Thornwood Road, you're seeing the height of the shrubbery there, and the way it's encroaching from both sides as you go through the Triple S on Thornwood. That road's only 19 feet wide, so when you get foliage coming in from 2 feet from either side, you basically can't get two cars past without somebody being in the bushes. Another example of the height.
This is a public street, Fred?
All of these are public streets. This is South 35th Street, right across from the Valley View intersection. If you look really closely, that's a speed limit sign up there. That's the bottom of the Reich Schneider Hill. Again, that thing has been that way for several years now. I've sent multiple letters to the Director of Public Services, got written response that they received the letter, but nothing has happened. City manager and I and the mayor and a few others were in a meeting in February this year. The city manager asked me to submit some of these pictures so that they had a reference to be able to go back. But again, 4 months later, it still is not fixed. This is further south along South 35th. And a couple more just on Thornwood Road. There is also a no parking sign up in here that cannot be seen. Meanwhile, foliage creeping way in here. This is Thornwood, just about across from the Green Branch Road Drive intersection.
Okay, well, I appreciate you coming in and pointing these things out. We will have Public Services come take a look and kind of drive through that area, so.
Yeah, again, this is something that's supposed to be maintained by the city. It's not on a complaint basis, but we have put the word out, and it's really quite unsafe.
Okay, we'll have somebody come take a look, Fred.
Fred, thank you. This is important, and we want to hear from folks when things are going well, and we want to hear from folks when we can do better. So thank you.
Okay, anybody else for, all right, Al, come on up.
Al Womble, 818 Ashmore Circle, West Des Moines, Iowa. As many of you on the council know, I'm a great big history nerd. So I would like to share an anniversary that we just passed, this past Wednesday. 62 years ago on June 12th, a young 37-year-old man pulled into the driveway of his house in Jacksonville, Mississippi, after a long rally at New Jerusalem Baptist Church. As he walked to his front door, the crack of a rifle broke the silence of the early morning darkness. The young civil rights activist had been shot through the heart, but he did not die right away. He staggered another 30 feet to collapse at the front door of his house, where his wife was there to find him. He was rushed to the hospital where just a short 50 minutes later, he was pronounced dead. As the news spread throughout the state of Mississippi and throughout the nation, people mourned as they had lost Medgar Evers, a veteran of World War II and a civil rights champion to the nation. As a sergeant in World War II, Medgar Evers was part of the Red Bull Express, but was angered by the segregation he saw, telling his brother Charles, when we get out of the Army, we're going to go home and figure this thing out. And he got to work immediately when he got home. He served as president of the Regional Council of Negro Leadership, which began to organize actions to end segregation. On November 25th, 1954, Evers was named as the NAACP's first field secretary for Mississippi. He helped organize boycotts and set up new local chapters of the NAACP. Evers organized actions to help end segregation in Jacksonville's university, privately owned buses, and to integrate the public parks. He also led voter registration drives and used boycotts to integrate Leake County schools and the Mississippi State Fair. Over 5,000 people attended the funeral of a man who inspired a nation to stand up for civil rights, including other leaders like Ralph Abernathy and Martin Luther King. However, the greatest tribute to Medgar Evers was his wife, who came to the funeral and said, Medgar was a man who never wanted adoration, who never wanted the limelight. He was a man who saw a job that needed to be done, and he answered the call. And I think it is important for us to remember that when it comes to the civil rights struggle, it was one that was participated by people from every single race, from every religion, and from every region, including Iowa, who sent people to the 1961 Freedom Rides and the 1964 Freedom Summer in Mississippi. Even both Democrats and Republicans participated in the civil rights movement. And as we can see through the example of Medgar Evers, all gave some, but some gave all. And I would just make one last statement. I was listening to the song Hero as I came over here. And in that song, it says, and they say that a hero will save us, but I'm not going to stand here and wait. But I would then also share the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, who said that we are the heroes that we have been waiting for. So let's go out there and do and be. And I would challenge all of us to make sure that when it comes to civil rights, we don't see this as a black or white issue. We see this as an American issue, and we can always be better than what we have been. Thank you.
Thanks, Al.
Thank you, Al. Okay, anybody else for Citizens Forum? Okay, is there anybody online for Citizens Forum? Hit *6 to unmute yourself and give us your name and address for the record. Is there anybody online for Citizens Forum?
Hello,
Okay, give us your name and address for the record, please.
are you speaking to me, Mr. Mayor?
I am.
Okay, great, because it kind of cut out there for a second, so
Okay.
I wasn't sure.
All right.
Al, that was great, by the way. I have a question for you. Is West Des Moines a sanctuary city?
No, Amy.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to give my name. Sorry. Amy Viewer, 8415 Mill Civic Parkway, West Des Moines, Iowa, 50266. Just a little bit ago, I experienced road rage from license plate number NSL997, a blue Ford pickup truck, with a topper. And I would really like to have that investigated, because not only did he road rage once, he turned around and came back and did it twice. So I had to take my earplugs out for the second time to hear what he had to say. And he was saying something about my e-bike. So I don't know if he was pissed off about my e-bike because of Elon Musk or what. I don't know. I received a death threat even closer to my home than normally, with headless rabbits right where I sit next to my front porch. Now, this guy in this blue Ford truck with a topper that did the road rage thing today to me, I'm just alleging this, but really nothing's coincidence anymore, it seems like. As I was leaving on my e-bike, HR Green pulled up and parked on that side street, South 85th, and probably saw me leave, and the next thing you know, I'm getting road rage. I just can't consider anything coincidence anymore. I did call the police. Hopefully they will investigate it. Oh, also one last thing. I would like to know why police use their personal cell phone for police business. If you could answer that, that's a question.
I'm not, I'm not aware that that's the case, Amy.
I am.
Okay,
So could you look into that?
Sure,
Because
sure.
there's no accountability if they're using their personal phones.
okay, we will look into it.
Awesome. When can I hear back from you? By email or what? Or by who?
We will communicate with you by email.
Sounds good, Mr. Mayor.
All right.
Everybody have a good day.
You too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, anybody else online for Citizens Forum? *6 to unmute yourself. Okay, hearing no one, Citizens Forum is closed. We're going to move on to item 3, Mayor, Council, Manager Report, other entities update, and we're going to start off with item 3A, which is a presentation of a check to West Des Moines Human Services from the West Des Moines Chamber Foundation. All right, come on up, group.
Hey, everyone.
And we would ask that you give us your name and address for the record as well, even though it seems maybe a little odd.
Wow, that's a big check.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it is a very big check.
Yeah, both.
We'll just give a
All right.
quick overview really quick. My name is Carly Raymond, and I am representing the class of the West Des Moines Leadership Class of 2025. We chose to support West Des Moines Human Services with our class project. We did a friendly class competition that we divided into teams and competed for 4 impact areas. One being monetary donations, which is why we are here today to present a big check to West Des Moines Human Services for $61,525. So, thank you to the city of West Des Moines, and we did have celebrity team captains, and one was the mayor. So thank you so much for your support, and we are so honored to be presenting this check today. Do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, I can just add, my name is Kara Matheson. I'm the VP of Workforce Development and Culture within the West Des Moines Chamber. And this group is our 17th year of 33 graduates from the Leadership Academy. And we have had incredible stories throughout the years of so much community impact. But this group was a really special one, and they really hit a home run. And we're really proud of the program as a whole, and we're proud of these leaders. So just thank you to them for being so dedicated and for choosing a very meaningful organization to support.
Absolutely. And my name is Catherine Harrington, the proud president and CEO of the West Des Moines Chamber, but also the new president of the West Des Moines Chamber Foundation. And we built a 501c3 specifically for things like this in hopes that we would raise record amounts of money for organizations like what you all represent, helping our humans in our community. So mission accomplished, record amount. We're so excited about that, but this is one of the reasons why we built a foundation, and I just wanted to make that so clear, and this is just incredible. We're so happy to support the city and all the amazing humans in it, so thank you everybody for your support that's listening and in the world, so thank you. Thank you.
So we will come down, we'll have you come down and do a picture here. I just want to say on behalf of the city, thank you all for everything that you did, for using your class project to raise money for West Des Moines Human Services to serve the elderly, disabled, low income in our city. You know, we are so proud to have a Human Services Department, and we do so many things from the clothing closet to rent assistance, the food pantry, you name it, and it's a huge help to people. We like to say Human Services is the heart of the community, and they truly are. So record amount of money that was raised, and you should have seen this Leadership Academy in the final days, constantly sending out, emails. We're almost there, we're almost there. We have a Sunday supper in our town, like the third week of September, and I think we raise like $40,000 every single year for that, 61,000. I mean, that is unbelievable. It will be put to good use to help people in need. So thank you all, and I'm sorry that I failed my team and that we didn't win. I can't remember if it was it Chief Lou that? Chief Lou, he's a cheater. He's a cheater. All right, let's get a picture.
We'd love to have everybody join in the picture. That's amazing. Incredible. Everybody join in on the photo.
I'll stand behind you guys.
Everybody join in, everybody's focused.
Act like you like each other a little
No, I make the pictures.
Well done, well done.
Really appreciate that. Also, I have to say, we are extremely proud that one of our own was in the West Des Moines Leadership Academy class, Greg Hudson. Hopefully, it wasn't too much of a pain for you all. So, okay. Well, oh, yeah. Come on up. Yeah, come on.
Sorry, I realized the other celebrity captains were here as well. We had Deputy City Manager Jamie Letzring as one of our team captains, and also Fire Chief Craig Liu. And then Valley High School Principal David Maxwell was our fourth and final captain. So thank you so much for the support. We could not have done it without our celebrity
Fun
captains.
competition went to a great cause. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you being here. Enjoy the rest of your 92-degree nights.
Air conditioner went out today.
No. All right, thank you so much. All right, moving on to Mayor Council Manager reports. I will start down to my right with City Manager.
It's okay. We're going to give you
oh, no.
credit for the Palooza. Thank you for all of that.
Oh,
so-
yeah.
Okay,
All right, City Manager Tom Hatton, your report.
sorry, Tom. Sorry.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. We launched our partial special census campaign today, and why the partial, I want to emphasize that it's going to cost significant savings for the city because we're targeting areas of growth only. So we have some major areas of growth, and we're going to, instead of doing the whole city, so that will save. Our efforts stress how important it is for those who receive mailings from the U.S. Census to fill out their census questionnaire online. We're also recruiting people to help us with the census. Links to apply for the positions that we hired are on the website at wdm.iowa.gov/census 2025, and that's not a volunteer position. They are getting paid, just so you know. I also want to remind everyone that Central Iowa Water Works has banned all residential and commercial lawn watering until further notice due to high nitrate levels in the Des Moines and Raccoon rivers. To help conserve water, the city has turned off our fountain outside. That's more symbolic because it's not new water, it's cycling, but people get upset about that. We've also turned off our irrigation systems and closed the American Legion Park spray ground, which unfortunately we hate to do, but that is new water. It's not recirculated water. Hopefully everyone will comply with the ban. We all need to do whatever we can to keep our drinking water safe, and hopefully this passes in a relatively short time. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Okay, Councilman Hudson.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to say one more time, it was an honor to be a member of the 2025 West Des Moines Leadership Academy class. As you can see by the folks who were here, we had more than a dozen members of the 33-member class here. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you to all of them for making a difference. Yes, we wanted to, be competitive with one another. I know Mayor Tremble's team wanted to win. Deputy City Manager Letzring's team wanted to win. I know my boss at Valley, Mr. Maxwell, he definitely wanted to win as well. By the way, he couldn't be here tonight because he's on vacation. He's out of town. So, but in the end, our wonderful Chief of Fire Department and EMS, Craig Liu, well done. Your team just knocked it out of the park. All four teams knocked it out of the park. And to raise a record amount of money from the Leadership Academy, certainly an honor to be a part of that class and to make a difference. It should also be said, it's not just the money. We also donated hundreds of hours of community service down at Human Services, as well as, I don't remember what the total was for number of items and canned goods. In the thousands of items donated as well, like canned goods and such. So it wasn't just a monetary difference maker, it was also a goods and also service. So all of those things combined makes me incredibly proud to be a member of that class. So it was awesome to see them. And thank you all for being captains.
Yeah, and it was also the awareness, right? I mean, ever since I've been on the Human Service Advisory Board way back in 2003, we've had this problem of letting people in the community know that, we have the need out there in the community and that human services exist and the services that we provide. And so it also raised awareness of that and brought attention to the fact that we do have this incredible department that provides assistance to people out there.
And as part of our community of care campaign that's going on right now as well, that's been going on. So
Yeah, absolutely.
thank you all for your support, and I'm happy that it made a difference.
All right, thank you, Councilman. Councilman McKinney.
All right, thank you, Mayor, and congratulations, Greg. Thank you to you and your colleagues in the Leadership Academy and to the Chamber for all the work to support human services. A couple items here. Just updating the council here with respect to Icon Water Trails. As you all know, we support Icon, one of the several communities that does do that. And so many people think of Icon Water Trails as all about recreation, and it certainly is that. And as we see more construction and activity occurring in waterways, that's definitely a big part of it. But in addition to recreational activities, Icon Water Trails is also very focused on water quality and safety. And so one of the things that Icon has been doing over the years, and what we did in this most recent board meeting last week, was approve an agreement with Polk County Conservation to continue to monitor water quality at various points throughout the metro. And Icon is helping to fund that. Icon will be reporting that information, and people that go out and use the waterways will be able to see what exactly is in the water. We're also continuing to clean up in the sense of trash, debris, and other items that find their way into the waterways. ICON continues to work on cleaning that up. So we approved that contract last week, and I think it's important. We all know, we talk about water quality. Tom, you talked about, Central Iowa Water Works earlier in the ban. There are things that this city is doing well beyond ICON, but it's important to highlight them, and I wanted to highlight that for you. Insofar as it relates to the irrigation item, I assume others, I've certainly been contacted by many folks and had a conversation with our city manager this morning because I know people are concerned. They're concerned about the water quality, but they're also concerned about, hey, we've planted a lot of trees. Heck, we've planted a lot of great trees across the city, and how do we ensure that they don't dry up? And so I know Tom is having a conversation. The reality is Central Iowa Water Works and West Des Moines Water Works is an entirely separate entity from the city. It is not something that the city controls. This is not a regulation the city controls. But I do think it's important that we do what we can to convey our concern, or at least my concern, that Central Iowa Water Works does make the investments they need to make to ensure that they can meet the demand. We have a growing metro. It's great. We celebrate our economic development, but they need to be making the decisions to ensure that we don't end up in these sorts of situations down the road. There's a lot of different factors. I get that. Very little that the city can do because they are separate entities, but I did want to reference that as I talked about water quality and the work that ICON is doing with respect to some of that.
Well, and I'm going to interrupt you, Chris.
Yeah.
I know you're going on a different topic too, but thank you for mentioning this. Thank you for bringing this up. We do a lot of different things to try to clean up our water as well as a city. We've had a number of water quality projects. We've done bank stabilization. Just recently, we announced over at Legacy Woods, we applied for and received a $250,000 grant from the Department of Ag to be able to clean up the water before it even goes into the rivers and creeks. And it's going to make a huge difference. We try to do those kinds of things as a city all the time. We've got a number of projects that we could break out and show you all the different things we're doing to try to clean up the water and make a difference. And as Councilman McKinney said, we do that every single day, and we take pride in that. We take pride in being good stewards of the environment. But there is that distinction. I had somebody ask about what we're going to be doing to invest in the infrastructure, to be able to treat more water, to be able to get the nitrates out of the water. People don't understand, and this is a frustration of mine. I've gotten people that said to me, hey, I'm getting a note from the city talking about things that are clearly West Des Moines Water Works and not the city, like, the backflow test. How come you guys keep sending me these things on the back? We have nothing to do with backflow tests. That's West Des Moines Water Works. They share the same name, West Des Moines, but they're Water Works. They have a separate governing body, separate board. We don't have anything to do with them other than the fact that we try to work with them. I appoint people to their board, but they make the decisions there. So we will continue to make strategic investments in cleaning up our water before it gets into the creeks and the rivers. We've done that. We're going to continue to do that, but we are definitely not a part of West Des Moines Water Works or the Central Iowa Water Works either. Matter of fact, when the decision was made to go that route, we were repeatedly told that, this is not our jurisdiction and that we do not have a say in this. We did have a nice session where we received information from folks that were looking at doing this regional system, and we had a nice back and forth. And it's not that, I don't support that regionalization of the water. I do. But I think it's time that they look at making strategic investments. We can't get into this situation again. We are a growing city. We do take pride in economic development. The entire west side is growing. We've got to know that. We've known that for years. We've got to make strategic investments in our infrastructure, and it's time that we do that now. So I know I've been talking to some of the other mayors around the metro. They're interested in talking to Central Iowa Water Works to get more information as to how long this could potentially go on and what kind of investments they're looking at making in the future to make sure that in the future we're able to handle this kind of situation. So, okay, Councilman, back to you.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate those comments. The other thing I want to bring to the attention, really to my colleagues, but I guess those here and those that are online, we had about a month ago, an item that came before us, and there was some questions about whether there was sufficient notice to some property owners about, in that case, it was a zoning deletion of all things. And so we as a council referred that particular item back to the Development and Planning Subcommittee. A lot of work will happen at these subcommittees. And so one of the things that we took up actually this morning at the Development Planning Subcommittee was, what are our notice policies and practices? How do they compare to state law? What are our own practices under our ordinances, I should say? And whether or not we are following. And we are certainly following our notice requirements. And so what I wanted to report back to this group is what you have on the dais here is a significant chart. And I thank Jessica in our legal department for putting this together, and Lynn as well. I know she had a role in this. And it's quite a matrix, but the matrix outlines the type of development activity, who must approve certain developments, and kind of a summary of the notices, how they go out, what they're required, who receives them, that sort of thing. And so the question, or I guess the long story short is, we had a very detailed discussion. Councilwoman Hardman was there with me, and we walked through all of these items, and we ended up concluding, I believe, that we have a very good process today. We are following our process today, and we'll continue to follow it going forward. And property owners will continue to receive notice. In those instances where somebody may not receive a notice because it's not required here, we can certainly have those conversations on a go forward. There's kind of one-off issues that come up. We have it come here, and then it gets referred back to development planning. We, at that time, as a council, can ask for a special notice to a particular property owner. But we don't, I believe, need to change any ordinances as a result of our practices. The one thing that did come up, and I think all of us have participated in workshops or other gatherings, people will be here on a concerning matter. And Mayor, maybe you'll even say, hey, can folks, if you're interested to have a conversation, sign in, right? In some instances, we've also collected a phone number or an email address. And I believe that it reasonably sets an expectation that somebody would receive a phone call or an email as a follow-up to whatever may come after that particular meeting. That is certainly, it's not required under ordinance, not required under state law. And it creates an expectation and a potential problem for the city if the email, somebody writes it down and we misinterpret an A as an O or an I as an L or whatever it may be, and people may not get the right email. So we're going to try to determine how best to communicate with our residents, with stakeholders about issues. We do have an e-notify system on our internet website today. We're going to try to figure out a way that maybe we can have some cards or QR codes or something where people will be able to subscribe right here, right now, as opposed to write down an email address. We misinterpret an M for an N. They never get the notice, and they say, hey, but I gave you my email and it was scribbled and we didn't, inadvertent error, misleading, not trying to mislead anyone. And so we worked through that this morning. Thought it was a good conversation. But to the extent we ask for phone numbers and emails going forward, I think we could certainly ask for that individually, but I think we're setting ourselves up for a problem down the road if we do it in the way we've done it in the past. So that's my update. Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, thank you, Councilman. Appreciate it. Appreciate you and Councilwoman Hardman working through all of that. I mean, as you said, there's a lot of work done on these subcommittee meetings. Lot of heavy lifting before something makes its way to the council. So I'm going to pass it over to Councilwoman Hardman for her report, but I do want to say, to start us off, the Raccoon River Palooza was a huge success. And so thank you to Catherine, to our city staff, and to everybody that participated in that. I envision this event being the event in the city that is very similar, I can't believe I'm even mentioning this, to Ankeny's Summerfest, something that is massive, okay? It gets bigger and bigger every year. I think there was, 10,000 people in attendance at that event. So it was a huge success, even in spite of the weather and the fact that it was going to rain every second of the day. It held off. We got lucky. But anyway, Councilwoman Hardman.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to start off by acknowledging the two individuals that came up today and wanted to speak their truth. In times where I think it's challenging, at times where things have been challenged, we have a Commissioner Tiffany, we have a West Des Moines resident, Al Wumble, who given up their Monday to come and speak to us about the importance of acknowledging milestones in history. When there might be times where people want us to forget history, they decided that they want to share history. They decided that they wanted to lift up what was important about what I think makes this city a great place to live. And that is the differences that we all bring to this city. And so I appreciate both of you asking that we not forget. I appreciate you asking that we find ways to make sure we lift up inclusion in this city and not act as if it is a bad word, because it is not. This city would not be what it is if it wasn't a welcoming city for all. It would not be what it is if it was not a city that welcomed different voices and representation of all people, of us all. And so I want to personally say thank you both for taking the time to come here today and to remind us as individuals and elected officials that our role extends beyond sitting at this dais every other Monday. Our role extends beyond who we talk to, what we say, what we embrace, and how we espouse the values of inclusion and welcoming. So I thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart, because it takes courage to come here and swim upstream sometimes, but you do it. And for that, my heart goes out to both of you and what you represent, because you're the voices of other people that did not come here tonight, but feels the way that you have felt. So I honor you, and I appreciate that. I'd like to also lift up Catherine Harrington and her team and Park and Recs. I don't think they could have done this without the support of Park and Recs, and I see Brian's there and our director, that it was an honor to be a judge of one of the judges for the creative boats and the boats that were out there. Lots of, I think there were 10 or 11, so more so ever this year. I'd just like to say it was fun. Catherine, you have started a concept that, as Mayor has saying, is growing. I saw so many people there of all different backgrounds, of all different races, of all different everything was there right in Raccoon River Park, being a part of an event that I think showcases inclusion and culture and fun and all of those great things. So keep up the good work. Keep bringing things to our city that draws us all together and allows us to see the plethora of life here in West Des Moines. It was a huge, successful event. I'm glad the rain held off for you. I know you were worried about that. But as the judges, Councilman Lotz and Mayor Trimble, we had our task cut out for us. It was hard to judge, but we did it. And so we want to thank those boats. If you have not seen it, you have to go to the website. They were just absolutely wonderful and so creative. We only had one that was the Titanic, but they still won something. I'd like to say congratulations to Councilman Hudson for taking time out of what I know is a busy schedule to be a teacher and to raise a family and to be on city council, but raise your hand to still go through the West Des Moines Leadership Academy. It's a commitment. It's a commitment to the city. So I thank you for that. Thank you for representing us on the dais, but it is no short feat to be able to add that kind of commitment to your already busy schedule. So congratulations. I never graduated from the West Des Moines. I did the Greater Des Moines Leadership Institute. Don't hold that against me. They didn't even have the West Des Moines when I did that. So I love that that you have supported it, Greg, and I know how incredibly busy you are with your children and your work. but you made the time. I also want to say that they have lifted up a great organization that's led by a great leader, Audrey Kennis. The Human Rights Commission, I'm sorry, she's a liaison to that too. Human Services, okay, is in great hands. We have a person that's leading that gets it, meets people where they're at, lifts people up. She doesn't give a handout, she gives a lift up. And so it's a place where you want to be, because maybe you're lucky on a good day that you're going to run into Audrey. You're going to run into Audrey who's going to give you a hug. You're going to run into Audrey who's going to give you a smile. And you're going to run into Audrey who's going to tell you all the great things that that place can do for you. So you're right, Mayor, that was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful gift to the Human Rights Commission. But make no bones about it, every organization needs a leader, and we are fortunate to have the leader like Audrey Kennis leading Human Services. I too, and thank you so much for lifting this up, Councilman McKinney. It's really your questioning that really led to this. So I want to give you credit for being kind of the backbone of saying, we need a little bit of clarity here. I need a little bit of understanding. So that's what questions do. They make us better. So thank you for lifting up the question. It was a very robust meeting. Planning and development is where things happen. They keep us busy. But I want to lift up Lynn and Jennifer. Jessica, I'm sorry, Jessica. Okay, I'm having a senior moment, I apologize. Lynn and Jessica, it was a J.
You've seen me do it.
Okay. This was remarkable. When this was sitting on our seat, I was like, I love matrices. When you can have categories and divisions, I'm like, this, I'm gonna put in my wallet, I'm gonna shrink it to a wallet size and carry it around, okay? Because it is phenomenal. So thank you for raising the question, and thank you all for answering the question and putting together one of the finest documents I've seen. I just love, love, love this. Okay, and I know you want to shut me, let me make sure I got my list here. Okay. I think that concludes my report, Mr. Mayor. I just feel real good about all the great
Very
things
good.
that are going on.
Very thorough report. Nice
you.
report. Thank you so much for the update. Okay, Councilman Lotz.
Your Honor, I'll be brief. I just want to thank you for leading the council and staff and many other people at the Habitat for Humanity build for 3 houses last week. And we got a lot of work done. I realized I'm not 22 years old anymore. I was on the roof
You're
with Chief
23.
Lou, and Chief was throwing around these 4x8 sheets of plywood, and I hurt myself with the second one, so I was a little bit less effective than I wanted to be. But we got a lot done, and it was a good time, and it was a terribly hot day. But I'm thankful that, people like the mayor and the council members and the staff all show up to contribute to our community. These 3 houses will be filled with 3 wonderful, deserving families soon that contributed not only financially to these houses, but in their own equity in terms of sweat. And I'm really proud of the work that we did, and my ribs are healing up slowly, but I'm starting to feel a little better. So thank you, Your Honor.
Councilman, thank you for bringing that up. That was, it's a great project. Came out of our historical West Des Moines Housing Fund. We had to take down 2 houses that were poor, putting up 3. And man, you and Chief Lou were really going to town up there on that roof. You guys are certainly younger than I am, but way to go. It's fun afternoon. So, okay. Moving on to item 4, consent agenda. Are there any items that any council person would like to have pulled and voted on separately? Otherwise, I would take a motion to approve the consent agenda as distributed.
2 items, Mayor, for
Okay.
D as in David and for T as in Tom, 2.
Okay, D as in David and T2.
Motion to approve the rest, Your Honor.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
Four yes.
Okay, item 4D, it's a motion to approve retail tobacco permits.
So move.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Mayor, there's a lot of, there's 55 different items on here.
Okay.
I'm not going to,
Just being cautious.
yeah, come and goes on here, I represent them, so
Okay.
I'm just going to abstain from the whole thing.
Gotcha.
All right.
Okay, we will show Councilman McKinney is abstaining. Please vote.
Abstaining from what?
I'm sorry, Ryan, I hit the wrong.
All right, let's reset the voting machine.
We can do a revote on it.
Okay.
Three yes, one abstention due to potential conflict of interest.
Okay, moving on to item 4T2. It's a resolution establishing a public hearing regarding final design, site selection, acquisition of agricultural property for Grand Avenue widening South 60th Street to Raccoon River Drive. Does somebody want
Motion to approve.
Motion, okay, it's been
Second.
moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Three yes, one abstention due to potential conflict of interest.
Okay, item 5, old business, item 5A, ordinance amendment, amend Title 5, police regulations to modify regulations pertaining to the use of fireworks within the city. City initiated. We have got an ordinance amendment for approval, the second reading, waiver the third reading, and adoption in final form. There are no outstanding issues, and there's no change from the previous reading, which was adopted unanimously by the council at the
Motion to
last
consider
meeting.
the second reading?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Four yes, an ordinance to amend the city code of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2024, Title 5 police regulations pertaining to the use of fireworks within the city.
Motion to approve the second reading?
Second.
Okay, please vote.
Four yes.
Motion to waive the third reading, adopt in final form?
Second.
Please vote.
Four yes.
Okay, item 6, public hearings, item 6A. This is time and place for a public hearing to consider Sun Prairie, southwest corner of I-80 and I-35 interchange. Amend the planned unit development ordinance to align the PUD language to the built environment initiated by Vista Apartments LC and Temec Investment, the 6th LC.
Motion to consider the first reading.
Hold on real quick. We still got to go through a couple other things.
Oh, sorry.
Nope, you're okay. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice is published?
May 27th, 2025, in the Des Moines Register.
And have we received any written comments to this hearing?
The Plan and Zoning Commission, by a vote of 6 yes with 1 absent, adopted a resolution recommending approval of the PUD amendment.
Okay, anybody in the audience who'd like to address the council on item 6A, please come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. Anybody online, hit *6 and give us your name and address for the record. Is there anybody either online or in the chamber that would like to address the council on item 6A? Going once, going twice. I will declare the public hearing closed. We've got an ordinance amendment to the PUD for Sun Prairie Apartments, and there are no outstanding issues. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to consider the first reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I'll just say that in 1997, when I moved here, I rented an apartment at this place, so.
My wife did too. Mr. Denner does a nice job in these apartments, taking care of them, doesn't he? Okay. All right, with that, please vote.
Four yes, an ordinance amending the city code of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2024, and Sun Prairie Plan Unit Development Ordinance Number 25 pertaining to Plan Unit Development, District Regulations and Guidelines.
Motion to approve the first reading.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
Four yes.
Okay, item 6B, this is a time and a place for a public hearing to consider amendment to City Code Title 9 zoning, modified regulations pertaining to second dwelling units initiated by the city of West Des Moines. Ryan, just please read the date the notice is published.
June 3rd, 2025, in the Des Moines Register.
And have we received any written comments to this hearing?
The Plan and Zoning Commission, by a vote of 6 yes with 1 absent, adopted a resolution recommending approval of the ordinance amendment.
Okay, anybody in the audience that would like to address the council on item 6B, please come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. Anybody online, hit *6 to unmute yourself and do the same. Is there anybody in the chambers or online that would like to address the council on item 6B? Okay, hearing and seeing no one, I'm going to declare the public hearing closed. We've got an ordinance amendment for approval of the first reading, and there are no outstanding issues. This amendment is being done to reflect changes in state code allowing for accessory dwelling units. on current single-family residential lots. This was approved unanimously by the Development and Planning City Council Subcommittee, but with some reservation.
Move consideration of the first reading.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Mayor, just to say, this did come before Development and Planning. I think I mentioned this at a prior council meeting. High-level takeaways, we're going to do everything not everything, we will comply with state law, period. And then we will do some additional analysis to determine whether additional steps need to be taken. But before we do that, we'd like to evaluate, the impact on maybe city infrastructure in terms of parking, storm sewer, all the, infrastructure that is going to be impacted as it relates to, any expansion of this. And that includes things like police and fire and, other public safety items. So this will bring us into compliance with the state law that was passed this year. And then we may tiptoe forward depending on what we learn from further evaluation.
Yeah, I appreciate you and Councilwoman Hardman and staff going over this thoroughly and, taking a look at what else we may need to research as we put this law into effect. There's things that I like about this, having the, ADUs or whatever we're calling it now, second dwelling units. I think it's a great thing. I think that we are probably going to be, at some point in time, getting complaints if somebody pulls an RV in the backyard and parks it there, and it looks like that's possible under the law. So we will have to deal with some of the complaints as they come, and appreciate you guys doing further research as we go.
Yep.
Okay, is there any further discussion on this item before we vote? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
4 yes, an ordinance amending the City Code of the City of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2024, Title IX zoning pertaining to second dwelling units.
Move approval of the first reading.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
4 yes.
Okay, item 6C. This is a time and a place for a public hearing to consider Sugar Creek Greenway Trail Phase 2 initiative by the City of West Des Moines. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice is published?
May 30th, 2025, in the Des Moines Register.
And have we received any written comments of this hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody in the audience that would like to address the council on item 6C, please come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. Anybody online, hit *6 to unmute yourself and do the same. Is there anybody either in the chamber or online that would like to address the council on item 6C? All right, hearing and seeing no one, I will declare the public hearing closed, and we've got 2 resolutions and a motion we can take at the same time, and there are no outstanding issues. This was also approved unanimously by the Public Services City Council Subcommittee.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
This is a great project, and this is just going to continue to expand our trail system in the city of West Des Moines. And I think as Grand gets done, right in front of the Recplex near 60th Street, eventually we will be able to create this entire loop. We're not quite there on the Marathon Loop, but this is a big part of it, so it's exciting.
Absolutely. Keep moving those game-changing quality of life amenities forward. All right, any other discussion before we vote? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
4 yes.
Okay, item 7, new business, item 7A, Crossroads Fellowship Edition, 1200 60th Street, approve a major modification to the site plan to allow approximately 2,900 square foot building addition, Crossroads Fellowship Christian Reformed Church, Inc. We've got a resolution for approval of a major modification to the site plan and acceptance of associated legal documents. There are no outstanding issues. This was also approved unanimously by Planning and Zoning Commission.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there anybody in the audience or online that would like to address the council on item 7A? Okay, hearing and seeing no one, is there any discussion on the dais? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
4 yes.
Okay, item 7B, Plata Survey Parcel 2025-57 and 2025-58, 1045 19th Street, approved Plata Survey to create a 1.07 acre and a 1.06 acre parcel. Flynn Development Company, Inc. We've got a resolution for approval and release of the plat as survey, and there are no outstanding issues.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to address council on item 7B? Anybody online, hit *6 to unmute yourself. Okay, hearing and seeing no one coming forward, is there any discussion on the dais? This is going to be two great lots for somebody to put a home on. Okay, please vote.
4 yes.
Okay, item 8, receive, file, and/or refer. Item 8A, we will receive and file the resignation of Pierce Zanders from the Human Rights Commission. I want to thank Pierce for his hard work and dedication to the Human Rights Commission while he served. I appreciate everything that he did. And also in this, I want to congratulate the newest commissioner, Al Womble, who is sitting here before us. With that, we'll move on to item 9, other matters. Are there any other matters that any council person would like to raise at this time for the good of the order?
I'd just like to lift up what you just said, Mayor, with Commissioner Pierce. He has just done a remarkable job. We had a great meeting. I videotaped his speech. He mentioned you in that too, so I'm going to send that to you. But he brought a lot of ideas and just so much to the commission. So we're going to miss him, but we recognize that he's got a demanding job and he definitely doesn't want to let anyone down there. But it's going to be a loss.